All right, this is the Explainer of Mysteries here, and today we're going to be talking about metaphysical femininity versus metaphysical masculinity. In other words, the divine masculine versus the divine feminine. And this is to partially explain why the world around us, the physical world, Malkut, is seemingly becoming more feminine. You hear about it all the time. Men are less manly nowadays. Men are becoming weak. Men are too girly nowadays, yada, yada, yada. Now, the metaphysical explanation for this would be simply that, well, the divine feminine compounds upon itself. Metaphysical femininity, particularly correlating with the elements of water and earth, they compound upon themselves, and the physical world Malkut is the most earth. It is the densest realm that we're in, the physical realm that we can see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. That is earth. It is the element of earth. Now, obviously, there are other elements, and everything around us do have correspondences to other elements, such as the voice that I'm talking into this recording device with. That's air and fire. There's also some earth and water there because I am burning calories while doing this. And those calories come from food, particularly food from the earth. Now, as for why there is seemingly more metaphysical femininity on the physical plane, it's for one simple reason. Metaphysical femininity compounds upon itself, while metaphysical masculinity does not. A fire, divine masculine, can only get so big and so hot before it eventually just runs out of fuel and burns out on itself. Or the smoke just snuffs out the flame, you know. It can only get so hot. Whereas metaphysical femininity doesn't do that. Eventually the fire is going to run out of air, and if it runs out of air, well, then the fire goes out and the fire stops. And on the physical plane, males of almost every single species on Earth are more competitive, which means that us men, we have a natural tendency to sort of hate each other and to want to tear each other down. That's, well, Gebura, Mars. Mars represents destruction. Now, of course, Jupiter has said that's also masculine. Mythologically, Jupiter was the most fecundus. He had a lot of offspring. He was very creative and productive. So physically, Jupiter, Zeus, was very masculine. However, in order for there to be physical masculinity, there has to be water and earth. A lot of water and earth. In fact, I think I've mentioned about this before, how, yes, movement and motivation correspond with masculinity, but the actual muscles, the physical body that does the movement, that corresponds with water and earth. That does not correspond with fire and air. In fact, if you burn too many calories and don't have enough coming in, you're going to lose muscle. I've had that happen a few times. I just was working out too much and walking around too much. I wasn't eating enough food, and well, I lost weight. I lost a lot of muscle. Or I got sick and I lost muscle. So that does explain partially why. And also, let's not mention that, yes, there are physical, mundane reasons to why there is, an actual masculinity crisis on Earth. yes, the average testosterone levels for men since the 70s have been going down quite drastically, actually, you know? And as for the earth itself, well, the earth is covered in water and it's earth. Most of Earth's surface is covered in water. And the rock, the actual earth itself, it's rock and metal and a lot of water too. So, that's to explain why that is the case. So, I hope that helps it out for you. This is a pretty short video, and I think we'll be about it from here on out.